Hey guys, Patrick here. First product review video, so bear with me. Might be a little bit painful. Little backstory on the product that we're going to be reviewing today. After our Jeep Club meet, Franklin County Jeeps, by the way, it's an awesome group, totally family friendly. The company, local company here in Missouri, by the name of Diode Dynamics, got a hold of me and said they'd like to send us a light bar on a couple conditions. One, we had to give a fair and honest review, and two, we had to give them feedback, photos, videos, hence what I'm doing here as well, as to what they could do better as far as their product development. So here we are, 12-inch light bar. It has been unboxed. I've been sick for the past 2 weeks. I couldn't help it. I had to unbox it. So this isn't going to be necessarily an unboxing video so much as it's actually going to be more of a product review of the light bar itself. So without further ado, I guess let's get started. Alrighty, so let's get started with what we got in the box, I guess. We have a box within a box. We got some packing paper. Got a wiring harness. Looks like warranty information. It looks like a packing slip, and they sent me a bunch of cool stickers. Cool. Well, we're gonna lay that off to the side. Okay, hopefully the directions are in the box. I guess before we get to the light bar, we'll go over the wiring harness since it's right here. This harness looks a lot like the harness that came with my rigid dualies. With the exception of one thing I'm noticing right off the bat. There is no relay. There's a fuse, which is close, but the thing is I don't see a relay. And the nice thing about relays is it allows you to run your switch into the cab without running all your power into the cab. Basically, the switch switches the relay, which takes the direct power from the battery and sends it directly to the lights. Anyway, that's a whole nother deal to get into. But the nice thing is, at least they include a wiring harness with the fuse. Looks like a 15 amp fuse. I doubt this bar draws any more than 10 amps, but another thing I'm noticing, there's two connectors. So looks a lot like my rigid dualies again. Two connectors. I don't know if there's two separate connectors on the light, but hey, we'll get to that later, I guess, when we install it on the Jeep. So on to the light bar itself. Looks like we got a bar, and I'm assuming this is all the mounting hardware. Okay. Hardware, light bar, nothing in there. And we have a light bar. Alrighty. So, one thing right off the bat, I noticed there is no instructions on installation of any of the hardware or anything for that matter as far as the harness or anything. Though a lot of this stuff is self-explanatory, I know if you can't install one of these, you probably shouldn't have one and you probably shouldn't be out four-wheeling or any kind of other motorsports at that. But there is a reason for instructions. So from there, one thing I do want to add that I noticed when I unboxed it that I really like is the fact that they include this little piece of harness. I know it doesn't seem like much, just a little plastic connector and some wires, but for those of us who want to splice into, say, our fog lights, or say reverse lights or something else like that, and they don't want to cut up a perfectly good brand new harness like this to do so, and they just want to splice it in and maybe say use this harness for something else down the line, this little probably 50-cent piece is worth a lot. So anyway, moving on from there, It's nice that they have the weatherproof plugs, really similar to some of your higher end light bars. Makes installation a lot easier. As far as the light bar itself, seems like a really good quality bar. It's heavy. It seems solid. I'm assuming it's made out of aluminum. I really don't know. I'm not going to scratch it to find out. Seems like a really good anodized or powder coated type finish. Noticing that they got a really nice little vent plug there. Keep the moisture out, allow the pressure to kind of equalize within the bar. Seems like a really nice weatherproof connector where the wires go in on this side. Something you see on a lot higher quality LED bars as well. It seems like it's a split optic, so you have 6 and 6 divided in the middle. Seems like a lot sturdier design, I guess, from pressure from crushing. Other than that, I don't know what else to really go over with on the bar. Some pretty looking lenses. I guess we'll get on to hardware. As far as the mounts, they appear to be stainless steel. I mean, I don't know how you really make something look like stainless that isn't stainless, so I'm going to go right ahead and say that they're stainless steel. Again, excuse me, still kind of getting over being sick. That's why I'm in the basement, not in the freezing cold garage. Lovely Missouri weather in February. It decides to change from 80 degrees to 15 degrees in a matter of a day, so looks like we got several different bolts. It's 2 different size bolts. If you look at them really close, they are a different size. This is why it's nice to have instructions, because putting the wrong bolt in the wrong size hole could be cause for stripping out threads or anything of the like. It's usually not good. So instructions would be really nice. Not to mention there's like 15 different Allen wrenches here, and I only see 3 different style bolts. So that one's got me as to what the Allen wrenches are for, unless they want you to take this apart. Again, no instructions, so I really don't know. I'm assuming that the mounts go on like this, so I'm probably going to high speed through this section, so bear with me. So, one thing I'm noticing as I'm doing this is the screws are super tight in the threads. They seem like they're going in square. I'm not sure if that's just the anodized coating or the powder coat, whatever coating that they put on it is just down in the threads, and I'm slowly working it out, but these are pretty tough to get in. Something that you guys might want to check on when you guys get your bar, just in case. I'd hate to cross thread a brand new bar like this and mess it up. I mean, don't get me wrong, tight threads are good threads, but you don't want them so tight to the fact where you got a crank on, especially an Allen headed screw, and potentially round it out. Because if you can't mount a light bar, it's kind of worthless. So onward. So, I'm assuming that's how it mounts. Again, we all know how to spell assume. I mean, makes an ass out of you and me. So, seems like really good quality. Time will really tell. I'm excited to get it on the Jeep and see how it does. I'm not gonna lie, I already lit it up the other night. It's impressive. But we'll go ahead and light it up real quick. I got a jumper box right here that we can try it out on. Kind of shine it across the basement, see how it looks. It's pretty impressive. Even with all the lights off down here in the garage, or lights on, it's still pretty damn bright. So, I guess from there, y'all, we're going to take it outside, gets a little darker, get it on the Jeep, test it out against the other bars, the dualies, and I guess see what happens. So, everything is wired up. Of course, none of this is permanent, but at least it's on there. It's the Diode Dynamics light bar that we're going to be showing off tonight. Got some little aux beam pods on either side of the bumper. Of course, the rigid dualies, hyper spots, and of course the aux beam 50-inch V-series bar. Of course, none of these are going to be really a fair comparison due to optics, but gives you a general idea. Alrighty, y'all, so this is the nighttime test of the light bars, just to give y'all a comparison for if you can see it or not. Right now, these are my stock headlights. Got the low beams, high beams, back to low beams, fog lights, and low beams, and high beams. So, there's the dually hyper spots, which don't really show up that well on camera. There's the Diode Dynamics. And last but not least, the aux beam. Doesn't seem like it, but the Diode Dynamics definitely packs a punch. As far as power goes, the Diode Dynamics has a little bit better focus beam, whereas the aux beam kind of has a combination beam. Show you guys out here now. I don't have any cars coming. Turn those two off, and we'll go aux beam, Diode Dynamics, aux beam or diode. A little bit of a difference, especially in color temperature, but I will say this, the Diode Dynamics definitely gives the aux beam a run for its money. For being 6 LEDs versus 100 LEDs, I would say the diode is definitely worth the money. I would love to see how a Diode Dynamics LED bar, 50-inch bar, does by itself compared to an aux beam. So, and just for fun, everything together. So it's been about 2 weeks since we did the nighttime shot of the Diode Dynamics 12-inch single row light bar, and I know it's hard to tell on the camera, but as it always is in most videos, the 12-inch Diode Dynamics actually gave the aux beam 50-inch a run for its money. It was super impressive. Of course, as you guys know, the aux beam has dual optics, it has floods and spots, so it did light up the sides a lot more than the diode. No shocker there. You're putting a 12-inch against a 50-inch. But it did really well, and the past 2 weeks have dished out. For those of you guys know weather in Missouri in March, we see everything from 20-degree weather to 80-degree weather the next day. Know that we have had freezing weather, snow, sleet, hail, storms, everything else. So the light bars finally gotten to be put through the test. On a side note, Diode Dynamics got a hold of me about a few issues that I addressed in the video. Number one, they are developing instructions for these light bars. They are brand new to the market, so they wanted to get some feedback before they go putting instructions together. So, number two, the coating, with as thick as it is and how much trouble I had getting the screws to go in. They know about it, they're addressing it, they're trying to get their coating perfected. And number three, the wiring harness. It has two plugs for two light bars, as they let me know. And they also, with the relay issue, they do offer a heavy-duty wiring harness, so that is an option with these light bars. Take a look at the bar. And again, even with all the weather, bar shows absolutely no signs of wear, condensation buildup, any kind of cracks, rust. It actually looks really, really good. And again, this 1-inch tube is of course temporary. It was just a way to mount it on the bumper. So there you have it. Super impressed with it. I'd love to get a 50-inch and see how it does. I'm sure it'll blow that aux beam out of the water. And if I have any issues with it, I'd be sure to let you guys know. If you guys have any questions about anything else that's on my Jeep, please let me know, and hopefully I can put together a video for you.